Welcome to the Sisters Talk podcast. I'm your host, Danny M. And tonight we have Arthur Frank Z. Jordan on the King's Edition. So, for those who are new viewers tonight, the King's Edition is a segment dedicated to our men to give them the stage, give them the floor, utilize our platform to get the real truth out, to talk about their emotions, and just take a moment to really appreciate our men in our society. So thank you, Arthur Frank Z. Jordan, for being a part of our show tonight.
Hey, Danny. Hey, listen, thank you so much again. It's always a pleasure to be on your show. You have a really great podcast, I love watching it. And it's definitely a really great addition, to what's missing today. I love it.
Thank you so much. What a great honor coming from an award-winning writer like yourself. I mean, a lot of people don't know, but Arthur Frank is so humble, but he has over 7 books, I believe, right now
Yes.
on Amazon. So make sure you check it out. The one that I like to talk about all the time is Oh Say Can You See? I mean, that's just phenomenal. He has other great books as well. I'm pretty sure you're going to touch on that tonight, Arthur Frank. Let the audience kind of know, where they can find the material towards the end of this podcast. Guys, you are in for a real treat. Now, the topic tonight is what America fails to tell us. And as a lot of people know, as we're coming into this awakening moment and century, we all know, we can see that everybody's just waking up. We're all waking up to a lot of issues that have been around for centuries, but we're finally opening that third eye and we're seeing our issues, our situations, our conditions, our way of thinking. We're starting to notice, the things that aren't so right about the way we think about life, the way we handle our money, the way we handle our families, the way we make decisions in our lives. So I think it's critical that we tap into different types of intellectuals such as Arthur Frank and really push that true narrative of our history, that true basis of finding out who we are. And I also know that when you listen to people like Arthur Frank, it really gives you confidence because you can actually stand back and say, wow, we have accomplished way more than what I could even imagine. And, since I've invited Arthur Frank on our show, he's been on several times with a purpose. It's all intentional. And I thank you for your time. We've learned about so many amazing inventors, people that I didn't even know existed. I'm utilizing these items, these cell phones, these GPS systems, all these everyday luxuries, not knowing who was behind the creation and the invention. So I have to thank you on so many levels for that.
Hey, listen. All praise to the Most High, and thank you, for your candor and those kind words. I think that sometimes that our people overcomplicate certain things. We've been to the point, and we just been here in America for so long, and shown, the flawed educational system, that we have learned as kids, because the American educational system is definitely flawed. It's flawed on a level that you can't imagine. Even Europeans, that I bring certain information to, they actually, they're shocked, at books that their own people wrote. I mean, as far as showing, blacks being kings and queens.
Yes.
Not only in Africa, but all over the world. You had black kings and queens in Russia. You had them in Rome. Tonight I'm gonna show you a couple things, and it's not that hard. A lot of times I think that we overcomplicate things, and we give too much credit to the European race. And a lot of times, without thinking, when people hear the name European or they hear the word race and they put it together, they think, oh my goodness, he's just so, he's so black. Yeah, I am. I am. Because under the Greeks and under the Romans, who we still serve up under. You got to understand, guys like Alexander the Greek, Caligula Caesar, and those guys, they were great guys for what they were doing and conquering. as far as when they went around and they conquered and they set up, Athens and Rome, and places like that, the city of Troy, and how they went about conquering everything, that was what they did, and they still do to this day. So, in a facet before that, historically, they just came out of the caves in 3 BC. And when they mixed themselves, give you a little history, and when they mixed themselves amongst the dark nations, that's when the formality in their faces start to become a little normal. They start to have, normal noses and eyes and skin color. Some of the hair start to, leave their bodies as well too. When they conquered the dark nations and they start mixing their seeds with the dark nations, that's how they got the human and the formality in their faces. But before that, when they were in the caves of South Georgia, Russia, okay, they were like wild beasts, okay, and it was cold up there too. That's the reason why you go to work, in the wintertime, and Amber has the air conditioner on, 30 degrees, because that's, it sounds funny, but it's true. We didn't invent ice hockey. We don't build buildings 100 stories high in replica of the caves, the Caucasus Mountains. Okay, that's why they call themselves Caucasians. Okay, it's just short,
Right.
For the Caucasus Mountains. Even electoral vote, they say we're going to have a caucus. So those things are predicated, and without thought in our people, we really don't think of these things. Why do these people? Why do they eat raw meat? Why is their diet still consist of a certain venture or venue? Because they still have the same minds, as their forefathers in the past. And I'm gonna bring some of that out today as well.
Interesting. And let me interject, just for those who are watching and new to the Sisters Talk podcast and the King's Edition, just know that this particular topic tonight may be sensitive to some of the people in the audience, but also know that being uncomfortable promotes growth. So if you have tough skin and you're able to listen in. If not, just like, comment, and we can talk about it. If there's something that you hear tonight that you disagree with, let's have open dialogue. That's the way we promote education and growth on this show.
Right, Danny. Hey, listen, let me tell you something. You're absolutely correct. We don't listen. I don't make any excuses. When I go and I lecture, I don't make any excuses. When you see something on TV or someone brings out the fact that our forefathers were slaves. We were whipped, we were lynched, we were hung. That's a pretty abrasive, and that's pretty a sensitive topic for me, and
Yes.
like most blacks should look at, but we don't make excuses of what happened, how it happened, how we got over here, and in the mannerism that we were brought over here. We were captured, we were beat the hell, work the hell. We don't make excuses about
Yes.
that. We're the children of the slaves that was brought over here. But when it comes to most Europeans, most of them, they're all, they're always in denial of how their history started. I'm gonna speed it up a little bit. Look at Rome. Rome was founded by two twins, Romulus and Remus, during the time of the Tiber, when the Tiber River overflowed.
Mhm.
And when you read up on Romulus and Remus, that's who Rome was named after. They were actually weaned by a she-wolf. And the she-wolf, they were suckling, from the she-wolf. They were suckling from the she-wolf. So, and people wonder why today, and a she-wolf is just a direct descendant of, wolves,
Mhm.
dogs, canines. So people wonder why, today in 2021, that Europeans, they love dogs. That just didn't happen overnight when they say stuff like, dogs are a man's best friend. No, that's your
Right.
best friend. Okay, because
Wow.
that goes back to that. Why do you think they have dog clinics? Why do you think they have dog spas? Why do you think they let dogs lick on their faces all the time? Because that's something that just didn't happen overnight. When you read the story about Romulus and Remus, how Rome was founded by Europeans, they were twins and they were weaned by a she-wolf, which is another offset of a dog. Okay, this is not a coincidence. Okay, how they still predicate themselves to animals as well too, and I'm gonna get into that as well too.
Oh, let me interject. Woo, you're gonna ruffle some feathers tonight. All right,
Good.
look at that. Look at that response in the audience.
Romulus and Remus.
Woo! Make sure you like, comment, and share, Kathy. Keep the comments coming because what she said is exactly how I felt. So, guys, for everyone who just tuned in, we have Lakeisha Rodriguez, a very good friend of mine, filling in for my co-host, Aisya Carroll. And so
Hey,
tonight,
Lakeisha, how
because you
you
just
feeling?
joined us, let me let you know the topic, Lakeisha. We're talking about what America failed to tell us with award winning writer Arthur Frank. What he just said just blew my mind. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to play that back. But yes, so Arthur Frank, he's a normal guest of ours here at the Sisters Talk Podcast, King's Edition, and he is a real true historian, Black historian. So enjoy the ride, Lakeisha. We're glad to have you on.
Outstanding. Nice to meet you, Arthur.
Hey, how you feeling, Keisha? How's everything?
Doing swell.
Good, good, good. They have statues of Romulus and Remus, and I put it in
Wait,
my
before you go, Arthur Frank, the comments are hilarious. Shay says, why did they make the hair stand on?
yeah.
Please repeat what you just said for people who just tuned in. Just a
Hey,
little bit of
listen,
that last
when
part.
you go listen, when you go to places, why do you think, let me ask you a question. Why do you think that they still have here in the United States, they have cities named after cities in Rome, and we're here in the United
Mhm.
States, like Troy, New York.
Right.
They have Athens, Georgia. They have
Hmm.
Sparta, Ohio. They have Troy, New York City. And these are all Roman names, okay, because we're still living in the Roman Empire. Why do you think the stadiums around, okay, just like the Roman Colosseums? And this isn't by an architectural design by like, that they, oh my goodness, it's such a pretty, no, because we're still living up under that Roman government and that Roman
Hmm.
legislature. And they know it. Okay, when you go to Georgia, they have portraits of Romulus and Remus, the two
Hmm.
kids that are being winked by a she-wolf. And I wrote something in my fourth book called oh my goodness, man, called my favorite book. Okay, it oh geez, man, my favorite book, The Destruction of a Chosen Nation. And I have like the portraits, okay, of the statues that's all over the United States, of Romulus and Remus being winked by a she-wolf, and they got the real big one over in Rome where you can see the two babies being winked by a she-wolf. And this is how it started. And that's all learned behavior from us. Black people don't like dogs licking on their damn face. I know that.
Okay.
I know black people don't like letting dogs lick on their damn face, man. As a kid, I ran from dogs. I was scared as hell of
I'm
dogs, man.
still trying to figure out what a she wolf is. What is that?
It's
What
a
is that?
it's along the dog line. Like you have like you may have like a wolf, you may have a coyote, you may have a
Hmm.
like cats, like lions, you may have certain felines. They're all
Hmm.
in the same cat family. A she wolf is just another offset of a dog. Okay, just
Mm.
like a wolf. You see, look, if you
I'm
was going,
afraid.
if
Whatever it
you,
is, I'm scared.
oh
I
yeah,
don't want to.
hey, look, if you was going camping and if you seen a coyote, you would literally have, or a she wolf, you would have to
Hmm.
squint your eyes and say, "Wow, is that a dog? Or
Hmm.
is that a dog? I'm not too sure. It's too big to be a dog because they're all in the same family."
Yes.
Oh, I see. Wow. Again, guys, for people who are just coming on, today we're talking about what America has failed to tell us. We are on the line here with two of my favorite people, honestly. We have Arthur Frank, and we have one of my really good friends, Lakeisha Rodriguez. And man, I'm telling you, Arthur Frank is telling the truth tonight. So this is a very sensitive topic. All I can ask you to do is like and comment and share this video. So Kathy says, I love the pets and volunteer at shelters. I wish one of them would lick me on my face or touch my food.
Not our nature, Tatum.
Well, you said one thing that really struck my core, which is it is not. We're still under that mindset, that mentality of the Roman Empire. I completely agree, and you can see how we maneuver in society, how our judicial system is built. A lot of that mentality is driven behind that captive mindset and that superiority. So I completely concur that we just haven't navigated away from that. I'm not sure what it's going to take to get away from that, but I'm just intrigued to be a part of this conversation to see where else will it lead.
Right. Greatest Show on Earth, Miss Rodriguez. That's the name of my fourth book. It just hit me in the head. The Greatest Show on Earth. But if you get that book, you'll see the comparisons, even a dollar bill, how you still have the Roman pillars. And when you got certain banks, that still have the Roman pillars, these things aren't just by design, of an architect just said, okay, well, that's a very pretty design. No, we're still up under the Roman structure. Even the Capitol, the White House over in Washington, okay, that came from Capitone over in Rome. It's still structured the same way as the Capitone building over in Rome. And you have those same designs in every state in the United States. That's not a coincidence. That's definitely not a coincidence. Just like how, Europeans, with the dogs, and, they have dog, not too far from where I live at, they have a dog resort. Okay.
Wow.
And you got a petition.
Living better than some humans.
Oh man, they get food. Dogs have more rights than black people. They get to sit in restaurants.
Oh yeah.
And
So true.
Look at what happened to Mike Vick, right? For doing the dog fighting. I'm not saying I agree with what he did, but look at the amount of stress and jail time he had to do. And you have black people that are being murdered by other races, and nothing happens to those people that are murdering us. Nothing.
Right.
They're never, the families are never seeing justice for the families members that are slaves. So let's see here. We have more comments coming in. Kathy says, I think I share this taping in 15 black groups 15 black groups for black, I guess, book club. So I guess she's trying to say the Black Book Club. She shared it already. Lord help us with the unveiling. I agree. It's gonna look. We're pulling the wool off. That's for sure. We're ripping it off tonight. We're ripping it off tonight. And Shay says exactly. All right. I won't interject anymore. Keep rolling. I know you have a lot of good content tonight.
No, I'm waiting for Ms. Rodriguez. She want to say something.
No, you're spot on. I'm just agreeing here.
Yeah, listen, this is a real simple thing. And I'm gonna just get off topic just for a little while. Okay, but this is a book that I had. It's called The Negro in Greek and Roman Civilization. Okay, now the reason why this book is called The Negroes in the Roman Civilization, okay, because you had blacks, okay, that was living in Rome. Okay, and this is just so far-fetched for certain people, certain blacks. Oh my goodness, no. Blacks lived in Rome as well too, but they didn't have the epithet and they didn't have the mind state as the Europeans. And you can go over to the British Museum and they still have pottery, they still have paintings, okay, over in Rome, okay, and over in Great Britain, okay, and as well as Europe also, okay, of blacks living in Rome. All right, now look, I'm gonna read something to you, right? This is from a Shakespeare play. Okay, now William Shakespeare was a black man. Okay, I'm gonna prove that to you tonight. That's right. Look, there was something that was said about a week ago that just frizzled me. It kind of ruffled me a little bit, because one thing, our people do, they kind of make fun at what they don't know and what they don't understand. Yeah. So, in lieu of that, what they do, they'll try to downplay it and they'll try to make fun because, our people, they play, our people, they love comedy, they love comedy, they love jokes, they love to play around, but all of these are serious matters. Okay, now look, this is something, this is all William Shakespeare plays. And what I was trying to tell people, and I actually brought this out probably like about 4 years over in Ohio University. And all of William Shakespeare plays, Danny, okay, he actually describes the people who he's talking about as black. Okay, now I'm gonna go to one. Okay, I'm gonna go to a couple. Okay, it's a play called Henry VI. Okay, he describes one of the guys as the first Edward the Black Prince. Edward the Black Prince was a black prince. Okay, now I got a picture of Edward the Black Prince. Okay, this is a play called Love's Labor Loss. Okay, scene 4, act 3. Okay, he describes the young lady, no face is spare, that is not full, so black. Okay, was William Shakespeare a black man? Absolutely. These are his plays right here. Okay, Romeo and Juliet. Okay, this is Richard II. This is a play, this is something from Richard II. Okay, it says he was rescued by Edward, again, the Black Prince. Okay, and these are the characters that he described in his plays as black people. And I'm not going to be long. Romeo and Juliet. Here we go. Okay, scene 1, act 1. This is the way Romeo described, okay, Juliet. He said, being black, I'm gonna repeat it again. Being black puts us in the mind, hide the fair. Okay, so it's another part in here when he said also that her skin is as dark as the night. Okay, this is another play, okay, called Antrodius. Okay, Aaron, will I have his soul black like his face? Okay, here's another one, same play, scene 3, act 2, Danny. It says that comes in likeness of coal black Moor. Okay, now everybody should know that the Moors are black people. Okay, and this is a
Yes.
book right here, and I'm not gonna be long with this. I'm not gonna be long with this. This book right here, Danny, is called Shakespeare's Life and Times. I didn't write this book, not this time. Okay, all right. And this is written by Roland Fry. Okay, now here's a picture. Now look, this is a picture right here. Okay, of the play that we just talked about. Okay, and this is the more that he was. This is the more that he was talking about right here in the play. Okay, this is the more right here that he was talking about in the play.
We can see it. Yep.
This is the more.
Yep.
Now I'm gonna read the caption to you. Okay, it says the staging of Titus Antriosus. Okay, in the early performance is illustrated and is drawing. I'm gonna come on down. It says the Elizabethan clothes, Aaron the Moor. Okay, Aaron the Moor. Okay, it says the villain of the play. It says is also interesting for he is made up. Okay, with his face being black, giving us the indication that Shakespeare's other Moor, Othello, was also on stage as a black man. So look, I'm gonna show you something else. Okay, that's in here. Okay, King James, the man. Look, this book is full of black people. Okay, the life and times of William Shakespeare. King James, the man that translated the Bible from Greek into English. Okay, from Hebrew to Greek, from Greek into English. King James, a black man. All right. I'll show you something else. This book is full of black people. Full of black people. Okay. Y'all can chime in at any time. Anytime.
Yeah, I was wondering. I didn't want to stop your flow, but
now watch this. Okay. Watch what they did. This is a picture right here, right? And you got to be very careful when you pick this up. This is a picture right here. Okay, a portrait, a painting of William Shakespeare. All right. What they did up here, they lightened his face, they lightened his forehead up, but you can clearly look and see that is woolly hair that man has around his head. It's not straight hair. You can look at his lips. Look under his eyes very carefully. They couldn't whitewash everything. Okay, around his nose, you can still see the dark. Look around his beard. You can still see the darkness of still around his beard. Okay, now I'm gonna show you another picture of William Shakespeare. I'm gonna show you William Shakespeare's best friend. This book is full of black people. Okay, but Shakespeare's a white man, right? Kills me, man. It kills me. Same book. Okay.
Kills you that they've been lying all this time in the books, in the curriculum. I know.
Right. Now, I'm gonna show you William Shakespeare's best friend. Okay. This is the guy William Shakespeare hung out with. His name was John Combe. Okay. His name was John Combe. This is William Shakespeare's best friend. Now, is that like a white boy to you? That's William Shakespeare's best friend. Okay, his name is John Combe.
Wow.
Look, this book is full of black people. Okay, now I'm gonna read some more from his plays. All right, blackface, Blackmore. Okay, all right. Now this is a play by William Shakespeare called Two Gentlemen of Verona. But black pearls are fair. Okay, and the old saying is, black men are pearls in beauticious ladies' eyes. You can look at his plays. I don't want to go through the whole thing because
I get it. Yeah. No, seriously. Yeah. And the thing is, all the pictures that we've ever, and I'll speak for myself, all the pictures I've ever seen of Shakespeare have all been white. Right. I assumed that he was Caucasian. Just like I've assumed Socrates was Caucasian until I met you. And I'll tell you, I made a post in one of the black groups. I think it's called Black Coalition Group. And that post went on for like 3 or 4 days. It got over 2,000 likes and so many comments. I don't even remember how many. And a lot of people discounted they didn't believe. They didn't believe that Socrates was black. But when you look at his features, it shows clearly. And also, a lot of people don't believe in the Dark Ages. Could you expand a little bit on that as well? A lot of people don't understand that term.
Right. Blacks ruled the Dark Ages. Okay. And what I'm going to show you also after I explain that, that's the reason why they called them the Dark Ages, because blacks was ruling. They were the knights, okay, like King Edward and guys like King Arthur. Okay. They were all black men. Now, this is a book right here. I had to dust this off, and this is quite embarrassing. It's called The Birth of Western Civilization. Okay. It's called Rome and Greece. Okay. I didn't write this book. Okay, not this one. Okay, it's written by a man called George Hewley, A.R. Byrne. Okay, and inside this book right, it says Greece and Rome. Inside this book right here, okay, look what you see right here. All right, this is a picture of Socrates that I was telling them that was over in the museum. This is in a book. And people forgot about these. There was even somebody that insulted my intelligence and said that the picture was photoshopped.
And then they ask you if you went to the museum.
Absolutely. Watch. Let me read this caption for you. Okay, about Socrates. Okay, it says Socrates. It says his features among the best known of antiquity. He was said to resemble Cellinius. Now, Cellinius, it says Socrates resembles Cellinius. Cellinius was a guy that was during the time of Athens that was very wise, and he drank a lot. Now, it says Socrates resembled Cellinius. Now, here's a picture of Cellinius right here.
Look at how wide the nose is.
Wow, exactly. That was my
Socrates, right, but it was Photoshop though, right? They said Socrates was in resemblance of this guy right here. That means they reminded each other. You know, they looked alike. Okay, now this guy right here, this is really probably a really bad picture of Cellinius. Okay, but nonetheless, it is a really good picture of him. Okay, and inside this book also, I don't want to keep going back and forth, but it's a very simple thing. The only thing you got to do is go to a library and research. That's all you got to do. Look up blacks in Greece, blacks in Rome. Black kings in Europe, okay, and you will come up and you will find certain things, but you got to understand certain things as far as the 1400s during the Renaissance period, how they try to whitewash all the black art for white supremacy.
And for people who don't, go ahead.
No, I just want to say it's mind-boggling how, and I don't know if I'm having technical difficulties on my end, but it's mind-boggling to see generations after generation, you see pieces of history of Black kings and Black rulers and Black success just being erased or trying to erase. And if there weren't books, and the Bible even says, my people perish for lack of knowledge, right? If there were not books, books and information out there, they would tell us, I mean, obviously evolution, which is a lie, doesn't exist, it's not real. So it's just so much, but I'm learning a lot. So thank you for sharing this.
Hey, listen, you just spoke about evolution, right? That's funny. Back in 2002, NASA tried to shoot the United States government, and a lot of people miss this, and a lot of people don't remember this. NASA tried to shoot a rocket towards the moon, okay? And what they tried to do, they tried to create, you know, like you said, the evolution, like a Big Bang theory. They tried to literally see out of an explosion, you know, is evolution going to form up out of an explosion? Hey, listen, you know, they've been blowing up bombs for the past how many, you know, centuries, and nobody is formed, you know, from that, you know, and like you said, I mean, come on, give me a break. I mean, come on, explosion. I mean,
we're still here to prove the theory of evolution doesn't exist, right? So when you evolve something, a species, we wouldn't exist if there was this theory of evolution.
That's right.
The simplest thing ever in science that people seem to not understand.
Right.
And it's so much that they don't understand. Just like how Arthur Frank mentioned just now about, you know, whitewashing information. Oh, well, if they do it today in 2021, what do you think they were doing back in the day?
Yeah.
I mean, even more so, right? And that's something that we have to just come to terms with. This is not bashing any other races. This is just simply telling the truth. And so again, like I explained earlier at the beginning of the show, it's a very sensitive topic for some people because the truth is very powerful, and it also offends a lot of people because it forces people who have committed these criminal, like savagery crimes towards individuals based on color. It makes them have to account for their transgressions. And so we have to get more comfortable with being uncomfortable so that we can grow. That is the whole theme behind this show tonight. What America failed to tell us, this is something that Arthur Frank brilliantly came up with. And I mean, he is the right person to give this information. A true historian, and you are unfiltered and you're unapologetic. And that's what we need more of. We got to stop apologizing for our truths. We have to stop apologizing for being honest about what's happening to us today and what has happened to us in the past.
Right, absolutely. This is another picture of King James. It's still over there in England. This is actually a picture of him from a coin.
Oh,
and you
Like my
clearly see
grandfather.
like a black man right there,
right.
And and when I show pictures and when I do research in history, it goes to show you that blacks go beyond the scope, okay, of just being slaves, okay, just being slaves over here in America. In the 1600s, okay, when we were over here, when we were brought over here as slaves in America, you had kings that were still black kings that were still ruling over in places like Europe, okay, and Russia. Okay, you still had black kings over there, but the only thing that you get over here in America, like I said, is, we were brought over as slaves, and the Europeans, they saved us, and let me tell you this, and let me get this out here, and let me make myself very, very, very clear. There's no book on this planet, okay, not one that I've read during the time of slavery, okay, that the Europeans, when they brought us over here to America, they didn't teach us anything. They didn't teach us anything. When they were over there, okay, when you had the French, the British, along with the Arabs, okay, that were buying the slaves, okay, in Southwest Africa during the time of the Dahomey Empire, they went over there to a supermarket, okay, of smart people, okay. They said, I want 10 engineers, I want 10 doctors, give me 5 goldsmiths, give me 10, okay, field hands. Let me get a couple of them boys over there, okay. Let me get a couple of them girls over there. They didn't just go over there because, listen, you got to think about this, Ms. Rodriguez and Danny. If you're going to go and you're going to capture a people to bring them over and teach them what to do, you know how long that takes? Right. If it takes you 6 years to go to school or somebody to go to school to become an engineer to build a building, Europeans ain't got that kind of patience. They ain't got that kind of patience.
Oh, don't we know? Don't we know?
They don't got that kind of patience and they ain't got that kind of smarts. Okay, look at microwave. They want food instant. Okay, they don't have time to sit down and prepare food and cut up food and chop it up and go and farm and stuff like that. They want things in an instant. They want things in a hurry. Okay, cell phone, you press a button, boom. That's how they are. They just a bunch of people that don't think about anything. Okay, we're the thinkers. We're the logical thinkers. We're the geniuses. We're the engineers. We're the goldsmiths. Okay, we're the doctors. Okay, that came over to America and built this place up, literally. Okay, until America got incorporated and they didn't need us anymore. That's about it. Okay, but we built this place up from the ground. They knew that. The people that was on the slave ships, okay, the slave ships were given different names. Okay, that was the different professions of the people that were coming over here when they were getting dropped off in the shores of North Carolina, in the shores of Virginia, in the shores of Florida, okay, down there. And they were shipping these people off, okay, to different counties, okay, into different lands, into different states. Okay, when you seen your kid, you didn't see your kid no more. Okay, you didn't see your kid no more. They were sold to a different plantation for what they knew. Okay, and how they can benefit another plantation. It's the same thing that happens today. Your kids go to school, they go to another state to work. I can make more money in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm gonna take my talents to Florida and make more money down there as well too. The same thing.
So let me ask you this, because this is one thing that comes to my mind when I hear you talk about this kind of history. Now, do you believe that our people, because it's always told in history that our people sold our people. What's your stance on that? And what do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think that was the case?
Listen, Dan. That's a good question. If I can count the Caucasian Europeans that try to jam me up with that question, listen, no question about it. You had blacks that did own slaves, but here's the curtail to that right there. You had a lot of blacks, okay, that were actually they were given certain plantations after the slave master died, and they inherited black slaves. Then again, on a flip note, you had a lot of black guys that had a lot of money from their professions that were taking blacks off of the slave plantations for a better custom of living. There's no records that you see a black man hanging and whipping the hell out of another black man. There's no history books that prove that. The answer to your question is yes. So what they try to do, they try to incorporate that and see, you see, y'all people in slavery too. No, we didn't. We didn't work our people from sunup. There's no books that I've ever read, okay, that said that we worked our people from sunup to sundown, whipped them, lynched them, raped our own people. That didn't go on. You had a lot of black people that were buying slaves from black plantations to save them from the rigorous hell that these damn Europeans was putting on us, the men, the women, and the kids. So they so slick, just like they'll say they were white slaves too. Okay. No, there wasn't. Okay. It's a difference between indentured servants, and there's a difference between being a slave and going into slavery. The indentured servants, like I told you before, Danny, okay, they came over to America to work the land and till the land, okay, and they were rewarded, okay, 160 acres. And if they had slaves on that land already, they were rewarded another 100 acres, okay, for that. We didn't even get our 40 acres in the mule.
Sure did. I want mine. I'll say that every show. Give me mine.
Still want it.
If you don't want yours, give it to me. I'll show you what to do with it.
Yours.
Right. You say hey, Ms. Rodriguez, you say you gonna take
I still want it. I'll take it.
Yeah. You know what you
I'm not about to play.
You know what you do with 40 acres? That's a lot of
Fair
land.
compensation.
It is.
Yes. We can build, right? Develop,
Yes.
and that's revenue.
Right.
That's a segue into something I don't even want to go into right now.
Right. Because listen. Yeah, I know Shay Joy says she'll take it.
That's
Listen.
right. I'm with you, Shay.
Yeah, because we're natural thinkers. Okay, we're natural thinkers. You know, during the time of segregation, you know, when the bill was passed, you know, and we were off on our own during that time of segregation, we literally, we was like, okay, that's fine with us. Y'all want to stay over there, we stay over here. And you know, that was the best and that was the richest time that blacks had in the United States, when we were segregated from Europeans. We built our own communities, our own banks, own supermarkets, own hospitals, own stores, own schools,
on airports.
Right. Barbershop. The lady Annie T. Malone that taught Madam C.J. Walker. Okay. Yes. She built her own college called Poro College in St. Louis. They don't talk about that. That was a black woman that C.J. Walker learned from. Her name is Annie.
That's right.
Annie Malone. They don't mention her. She built her own beauty college. Okay.
She sure did.
Right. They don't talk about that.
And you know what? They recreated a movie about C.J. Madam Walker, but they tried to set the movie up in a way that they had confrontation, and that really wasn't true. So, you know, they're always trying to put black people against each other in the media. And we have to stop doing that. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Listen, you know, like I always say, listen, last time I checked, Smith and Wesson isn't black people. You know, Mossberg, Remington, those aren't black people, you know, that build guns, you know, for an intent purpose. Okay. So, you know, if you want to get rid of guns in the hood, go boycott the Smith and Wesson company, okay, and the companies that make the guns, okay.
That's right.
One another. Let's go to the root of the problem. Okay, well, damn, where are these damn guns coming from? You know, where are they coming from? You know, let's go to the root of the problem. If you get rid of the guns, you get rid of genocide in the black community. If you get rid of the CDC labs that make meth and all the toxic drugs for black people, okay, you'll get rid of drugs in the black community instead of pinpointing it to one another. Okay, and I'm not making any excuse for a young black man on the corner selling drugs as well, also. But why give them that choice? Why give them that option? You understand what I'm saying? If the option wasn't there, it would be none for him to take. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right.
Well,
good. I'm sorry.
here's something that's I just want to tickle the mindsets real quick. One thing that the narrative is always driven, black on black crime, and all of these things exist. But let's think about if you only have blacks in the same communities as black, what type of crimes do you think will exist? If you have white people with white people, you're going to have white on white crime. So this narrative that we preach all the time, black on black crime, well, if we're in that community, that's why it's black on black crime. They're not going to other communities. Matter of fact, most of us don't have the resources to get to other communities, but you're not going to have crimes of other races if your nationality, if the race of people that exist in your community are black. Same for
That's
white.
right.
White on white crimes is very high. It's the same exact thing. As a matter of
If you
fact,
want to
if
be
you look at the facts,
statistical about it,
yes, go
80% of white people kill their own, and 88% of black people kill their own. There's an 8% increase.
yes.
That's it. I mean, come on. Stop saying that. I hate that phrase, black on black crime. Stop
I
it.
hate it too. It's an ignorant phrase, and it's not
It
realistic.
is.
The narrative is driven off of something to divide our community and our people.
I agree.
Right. Listen, do you know the suicide rate has went up 13% with young white kids since this pandemic has jumped off? They can't go to school no more. They losing their mind. Black kids are home chilling. We don't think like that. We don't lose jobs and go jump off a roof or go and go and overdose on drugs because we lost $100,000 a year job. We don't do that. We go back home. We may go to the store and get some wine and say, "Oh well, it is what it is." Okay, and may go back and jump back on the ball, but we don't think like that. The suicide rate has went up. Okay, and let me throw this out there also. Just like the Tuskegee experiment that was back in the that lasted 25 years. Okay, when they experimented on black men down in Tuskegee, Alabama, and the same as the Flint. People forgot. Listen, let me say this too. Have people forgotten about the Flint crisis? That dirty water that's still in Flint?
They have. I think they have forgotten. We're not talking about it anymore.
All the lead, the lead, it poisons your kidneys and your liver. And the water is still just as dirty up in Flint as it is in New York City in the Hudson River. The water's still just as dirty. Okay, the same thing also like like what's going on now in the pandemic. Okay, the CDC, the same people that's promoting the shot are the same people that gave the permission for the doctors to go down and poison the men down in Tuskegee experiment. They work hand in hand. The ingredients is there.
Talk about it.
Right. Yeah. And it's a circle. It's a cycle.
Yeah.
The CDC, they make the poison ingredients, okay, that goes into your sodas.
Come on.
Into your food. This is a segue now.
Yes.
Okay, this is a segue into what I was
going to talk about. That's my favorite topic.
Yeah. Hey, listen, the CDC, they make the chemicals, okay, the carcinogens, okay, that are nothing but chemicals that lead to cancer. Okay, and they're up under scientific names that Negroes, when they go to the black people, when they go to the supermarket, they just take everything off of the shelf they like, that's sweet, the Fruit Loops, Cheerios, the white sugar, the white bread, and that's another thing also. They even whitewash the food that we eat.
And that brings about a whole nother topic for another
Danielle,
day.
We talk about it.
It's food.
Because I'm telling you, it's giving black people so many illnesses, so many dis-eases. I break it apart so people can understand the full meaning of that word. It's a dis-ease on the body. When you have gastrointestinal issues, it's because you're ingesting something that you're not supposed to. It's not common. It's not natural to your body or your natural environment. And I think we forget that. We quickly forget about everything. Right. A lot of people don't even know about the Tuskegee project that happened to a lot of black men many, many years ago. But this is history that we should be teaching our children. And we have Shay that says, "I'm a veteran. I have yet to uncover everything they did to us."
Right. Hey, listen, let me say something. Yeah, let me say something to Shay also. When you go and fight, or you take an oath to serve a country that has had your people in slavery and, listen, that was one of the biggest terrorist acts that's known to mankind was slavery. Okay, that lasted from the late 1500s all the way up until probably the late 1800s. That was the biggest act of terrorism known to mankind. And I'm not blaming Shay for anything or her actions. I'm not blaming her at all. But when you go to another country and, the things that the United States do, you'll actually set up, over in different, countries. Okay, really, it's really not for the protection, of the other countries. It's really not for the, protection, or it's not really, we're going to colonize and,
Control.
you're setting up democracy over there. You're forcing those people to believe the ways of America, and if they don't, look what they've been doing to the Arabs and people over in Iraq for the past 100 years. They've been terrorizing those people over there, but your country is over here. I still to this day don't understand it. You're bombing little babies and little families, waking up in the morning, you see little kids running from bombs. I mean, and that's the American way. That's what they do. That's how they get down. And young black kids, that grow up, in low income, developments, that's all they see, as far as like, okay, well, I'm not going to be able to get a job. I might as well join the military, okay, to take me out.
Right.
A lot of black parents, okay, you got black women, that are subjected also to raising black sons on their own. And the first thing a black woman want to do 9 times out of 10, okay, is give her black son away to the military. And really what you're doing, you're giving them away to the United States, back to slave masters, say, here, you deal with him. So now your kid is sworn in,
Wow.
to a system where he's trapped. Now he got to fight for a country, that
That
was
doesn't
stolen.
respect him.
And that was stolen. Okay,
Yeah.
your foreparents were hung,
Hmm.
lynched, raped, murdered. Okay, and you're going back, okay, to the same system, to the same people that did this, and you're honoring and swearing in, okay, to uphold this system to the same people that has done this. And the United States laws haven't changed; it's still the same, still the same.
And the most hurtful thing that I've read about history, and I'm
That's
going to read
into
Miranda's comment in a minute, is that reading about the black men that came back from Vietnam and saying that I risked my life, I lost a leg, I have cancer, or what? It was a number of illnesses that these young black men came back to this country with, and still didn't get treated fairly when they came back home. That was the most disturbing read I've had in a long time, outside of the obvious lynchings, killings, water hose where it's blowing off people's hair here, right here in this good old country of the USA. And so that's the reason why I find it so hard to believe when people put 100% trust in the leadership here, because obviously we haven't been doing things right and fair since day one. And so Miranda Walker says, as a veteran, I agree because of my knowledge now, but I didn't know that then. So I guess she's saying when she first started in the military, she had no idea,
yeah.
Right.
and there's no way
I
for
and
you
I
to
want
know
to
that.
echo here. But I'm a veteran. Danielle knows that. I served in the United States Army as well. And one thing I can tell you, that wasn't even a mindset. And I'll actually admit that just recently and lately, I kind of was turned off to race and everything that was going around me. I like to say I had a blind eye, but I have been educated. My eyes have been open recently, and better late than never. I'll say that because a lot of people out there are like I was, or still in a same situation that I was in, which is we're blinded. You'll turn off the things that are going off around you if it doesn't impact you directly. But we're hurting our community. We're hurting our people. We don't stand for what we see that is wrong. And we have an obligation to stand for what's right. And I could just no longer turn my head and pretend I wasn't seeing what was going on. Black killings, things like that. But when I did serve, I served with honor, not because I was serving my country, but because those morals were already in me. I work
Right.
as I work into the Lord, not as I work into man. But you make up a very good point. It is definitely what's happening in America. It's a control mechanism. The same thing that the Europeans did to come and take America from the natives is exactly what's
Right.
happening in other countries. They're making a footprint, as I would say, a footprint in every country that they can, so that eventually we could try to make some type of power move or have some say so in how they operate in their governing body. And so that's the American way. We want to control everything. So that footprint, you can
Yeah.
have a voice in how they govern. And it's
Right.
about finance at the end of the day. Greed.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Hey, Ms. Rodriguez, hey, listen, you're absolutely correct. And what Ms. Joy said, she said on her idea says property of the United States. There you go. Right. Property of the US
Yes.
government. Hey, listen, I got news for you. Okay. During the time of the slave trade, that's exactly what it was. When you trade something, you're trading a product. Okay. That's what it is. It's a slave trade. Okay. You're trading product and you're trading property. If I have a book or if I have something, I have an old coin, and I want to go to a pawn shop, or I have somebody at work, I say, hey, listen, I'm going to trade you this, okay, my property, but I'm going to trade you this for that. So it's property, okay? I'm not going to say that's what it is, and that's what the slave trade was all about. They considered us as property, as they still do today. Slave trade, okay? It's a trade, okay? We're going to trade the property once they get over there, and to this day, that's what it is, okay? And they still consider us as property also today, and that's in the United States Constitution as well, too. They try to throw it off.
Ooh,
The
which
one,
we need to eliminate, eradicate, and start over from scratch.
right?
Don't
They
get
try
me
to say
started.
that They try to say that the 1/3 is putting there for voting purposes. They just consider 1/3 because, man, get out of here. Okay, so why is it still in there?
That's
In there?
right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So as we come to a close, because gosh, we have so much content, we're going to spread this out over the next few months because there's so much information. I just want to say that, Black history is American history, and it's going to happen every
Yes.
month on the Sisters Talk podcast and the King's Edition especially. So I want to thank you, Arthur Frank, for always coming to the platform and sharing your knowledge unapologetically and just being you and being honest. And you're not worried about what people think because at the end of the day, they have to learn to find their own truth. And I hope that the people who are watching tonight, you guys make sure you like and comment. You guys have been commenting all night, so I appreciate that. Also, make sure you share this video. That's the most important reason why we're doing this is to get this information out. Don't be afraid to share this to groups, to different platforms. Let people hear Arthur Frank tell his truth because these are our truths that he's telling right now that we're completely unaware of. I always refer to it as the unknown truth because the information is there. You just don't know where to search for it. And you need people like Arthur Frank. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry for cutting you off. Hey, listen, one more thing. The RJ Reynolds Tobacco Company back in the 60s and the 70s, that was an experiment for Black people. They made a pack of cigarettes called Cools. Okay, remember that cigarette? It was called KOOL. They did that to attract the Black minds, and that was an experiment. And they put more menthol, okay, and laced it with a little bit more nicotine than the regular cigarettes. So when they did that, that was an experiment just for Black people, just for Black men, to pretty much, make them, not have, to take away the sperm cells and stuff like that. So that was also RJ Reynolds, the tobacco company. That was an experiment. The cigarette Cools, that was an experiment that was going on back then. That's why they named it Cool, because that's what Black people relate to. And when they seen that, Black people try to be cool all the time. That's why you had the cigarette company back, the RJ Reynolds company. They had a concert, okay, where they were giving away, they had a cool jazz concert where they were actually giving away cool cigarettes as a promotion to get Black people hooked on that as well, too, the cigarettes as well, too.
Oh my God. That's not, I mean, it's not surprising because what this country's media does is it plays on the mind. It plays on the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. And because we don't tap into that subconscious level enough, it's so easy to manipulate us as a group, as a culture, as a society. And so we need to wake up fully. Don't just say, I'm woke. No, actively pay attention to the things that you consume. What are you doing? What are the ingredients to the food that you're intaking? What are the ingredients to the alcohol that you're consuming? Things of that nature. I'm not saying don't live, but be smart in the decisions that you're making. Make sure that you're covering your own CYA. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that you're paying attention and keeping your eyes open and you're really truly awake. And Shay says, I need some of this. Please have him come back. Of course. He's a part of the family now.
Coca-Cola Company is another one that loves
Uh-oh.
sponsoring. Coca-Cola is another one that loves sponsoring Black events because they know that the sugar and everything that's in the Coca-Cola, okay, they know that that's no good for blacks. And when they do sponsor rap events and black events, they give out tons. They give out tons, okay, of Coca-Cola products because they know that that's going to destroy, okay, and black people get addicted, okay, to the ingredients that is in Coca-Cola soda,
which later causes diabetes and all other a plethora of issues later on in life.
We need to talk about how it's a cycle of the FDA, the pharmaceutical companies, our governing body, how they are all tied together. We're
The legal drug dealers you're talking about?
Race control. Yes, race control. It's control.
Right.
We'll definitely talk about that on the next segment.
They're slowly killing people. Yes.
Of course.
Yes, you guys would be blown away if you knew the number of elderly people of all races, honestly, that have these chronic conditions like diabetes, failed livers, failing hearts, all of these things. And it's mind blowing because you're like, well, what have they been doing? And it's really more of, I should be asking, what have they been eating? We're not paying attention. Wake up, guys. So as always, we want to thank every person that's on this show today. Arthur Frank, thank you for coming through, shedding all this bomb knowledge. People are loving you. They're like, bring him back. He's never going to leave. I don't care how big he gets. I'm going to call you back on the show.
Yeah, I'll be glad to come. I'll be glad to come.
And thank you so much to Lakeisha Rodriguez for assisting me tonight as my fill-in co-host tonight. Shout out to Aisya Carroll. She's still doing her thing. Make sure you go purchase her book, The Pressures of Becoming a Diamond. She's an author. She's a spiritual coach. If you need spiritual readings, reach out to her. Aisya Carroll is AISYA CARROLL. Hop in her inbox. Let her know I sent you. And everybody in the audience who listens tonight on this Friday night, I want to thank you so much for giving us some of your time. Also, make sure you like, comment, share this video. Share it everywhere. We really appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time on the next King's Edition. It will not be again until April 16th. We're going to have Mr. Camp Cleveland that's going to come on the show. Camp Cleveland. He traveled to Africa. He's met up with the children in Africa, and he's just an amazing spirit. I can't wait to interview him. I want to know some of the things that he found out when he went to Africa. So definitely looking forward to this segment. We'll be airing it and marketing that. So make sure you share that flyer and stay tuned for that on a Friday. It's April 16th to be exact. All right. So Aisya and I will see you again on Sunday for the Women in Business segment with all the lovely ladies. It's going to be a lot of us, so don't miss it. All right, guys. You guys have a blessed night, and thank you so much for tuning into the Sister Talk podcast.
Thanks for having me, Danny. Thank you.
Bye. Yes, thank you.